What's up, guys? I'm Jeff, the founder of Worldwide Cyclery, and today we're going to talk about top 5 products December winter edition. Well, because we are now well into winter and it is December, we figured we would do some products that make sense for winter riding. So to get right into it, one of the most essential things, which is quite obvious, is a good jacket. So couple different things you can look at as far as jackets. Do you want a fully waterproof one, or do you want a little bit more lightweight one, or something kind of in between? Two of my favorites, 100% and Kettle. The reason I like both of those, 100% is more on that lightweight side. You can actually stuff it into itself, into a pocket. It weighs almost nothing. You can cram it into your hydration pack or even cram it in like the back of your bib if you don't need it. So lightweight, stretchy, super good jacket there. Kettle is a little bit thicker. A little bit more stylish, in my opinion, of a jacket. You could wear this thing to the cafe or to the bar after and not look like a Power Ranger, which is really cool. Kettle is very form-fitting. It has longer sleeves, which I really like because when you're riding, your sleeves will want to pull up, but the Kettle jacket has longer sleeves. I like that. I like the style. I like the look. It's form-fitting. It's stretchy. Both of these things are stretchy, which is super convenient and nice if you're just out there riding your bike and doing athletic stuff. The other thing I love about the Kettle is it has buttons, so you can actually unbutton the jacket. It's just kind of, in my opinion, a little bit more convenient than a zipper in certain scenarios and a little bit less convenient in other scenarios, but I really like that feature, and that is the jacket of choice for me. Again, both of those jackets are probably more good when you're riding in between, like, I don't know, let's say 40 degrees up to 55 degrees. They're not super cold weather jackets. This is, when we say winter, keep in mind we're mostly California boys, and I ride a bit in Pennsylvania in the winter as well, but if it's just super snowy out, I don't actually get out and ride my bike. So that would be like the hardcore winter edition, and I can't speak to that, but I can speak to the sort of fall cold riding, cold weather apparel stuff. Next thing, cold weather, is a cap or a balaclava. And if you don't like saying the word balaclava, I don't know what's wrong with you, because it's really fun to say. Balaclava, balaclava, balaclava.
What the f did you call me?
45 North, best caps, best balaclavas ever. This brand makes a ton of amazing winter apparel, whether it's like fully waterproof, snow biking boots, or it's outer layer jackets or pants or balaclavas or cycling caps or gloves or bar mitts. I mean, 45 North, like, I don't know any better brand when it comes to hardcore winter cycling stuff. This is a pretty basic cycling cap, right? That is super thin. It's 100% wool, and you put this on underneath your helmet so your head doesn't freeze. They make another edition that comes down over your ears a little bit more. Super convenient, but having a balaclava or a cycling cap is really nice to have in cold weather. Next up, gloves. So my favorite wintertime gloves, again, these are probably only suitable for like maybe down to 40 degrees or 35 if you're, hardcore. 100% briskers. What's the best thing about these gloves is they're not like a full-blown wintertime glove. So they have some insulation and some padding and some basically windproofing stuff on the top, which keeps your hands warm and keeps a lot of that wind and airflow from getting to your skin and freezing your fingers off. But underneath, they're just as thin as a normal glove. So the way your hands feel on the handlebars is exactly the same as a normal glove. So you still have all the dexterity as you would with a warm glove, but it's just lightweight and not quite as hardcore as like some of those winter gloves out there that make you feel like you're riding your bike in snowboard gloves. So 100% briskers, $30. These are like go-to gloves. They also have the little stuff on the fingertips, so you can still use your smartphone. That doesn't really work that well on any gloves, but works good enough to answer a phone call if you need to. Then base layers. So Craft. Craft is the brand. They're a Swedish brand that's, I think, started in 1973. Man, the absolute best sportswear and base layers on the planet. So they have so much technology into what they're doing in terms of base layers. Yes, they make a lot of pricey, expensive stuff, but in my opinion, a good base layer makes all the difference in the quality of your ride, because all their stuff is engineered, so like depending on the weather you're out, you can go on their website, you can figure out exactly sort of what version of their stuff you need for how cold of weather you're riding in. But the ventilation and the science behind that, right? So they have a lot of interesting stuff on their site that talks about where your body gets hot during certain activities, and then they've made the base layers around that. So the way they put thinner materials or meshing on certain areas of the base layer and not on others, they're all stretchy, they're all soft, they all fit amazingly well. But the way they sort of keep you from becoming a sweat box is really nice. So if you wear like a cheap base layer, you typically, that's at the same material all around, you're gonna end up like super sweaty, especially in spots like your armpits and your whole gooch area.
Say what?
But Craft does a really good job at, basically mitigating against the heat that your body lets off. So my all-time favorite brand, and yeah, it is more on the pricey side in terms of base layers, but it works so damn well. I can't live without it when it comes to cold weather riding. Next thing is socks. So there's a lot of different things you can do in terms of socks. Socks are tough, right? Merino wool is really nice in the wintertime, especially some thicker ones. Those tend to not make your feet as sweaty. I usually like thicker cotton socks for whatever reason. I feel like that absorbs sweat more, although it might not be quite as warm as merino wool. That's my preference. But if you're riding in really cold stuff, or if you're riding in rain, or if there's puddles of water out there and it's freezing cold water, waterproof socks are nice too. The brand Sealskins, they make 100% waterproof socks and gloves, and I think some other things as well, but they're literally waterproof. I mean, they feel nice. They're basically a merino wool liner on the inside. It's soft, it's stretchy, but it legitimately is waterproof. And I know a lot of things say they're waterproof, and then you test them out and they're not actually waterproof. These actually are. I first found these guys at the Mountain Bike World Cup in Windham, New York, a handful of years ago, and they had a demo booth there where they just had basically a booth babe standing in a bucket of water wearing these socks. And I was really interested because I'm a total baby when it comes to having cold feet and cold hands. So I went over there and talked to him and tested them out, and it's crazy. You put one of these things on your arm, you put it under the sink, no water gets through, which is weird because it doesn't feel like, it doesn't make that like rubbery waterproof sound, and it has total stretch to it, which is really strange for waterproof stuff. They make gloves, they make socks. I actually use these for snowboarding as well because I hate having cold feet, and for whatever reason I feel like my snowboard boots always seep snow in and get my feet soaking wet. So Sealskins, amazing 100% waterproof socks, which are really nice for getting out there in the winter. The other thing, of course, shoe covers. That's another sort of, I would say, essential thing if it's cold out there. Most shoes, cycling shoes, mountain bike shoes, all of that have a lot of ventilation built in because typically your feet get hot and sweaty. Well, in the winter, it's kind of the opposite. You don't want freezing cold air blowing in there all the time. So shoe covers are an easy way so you can keep, one pair of shoes. You don't need to get a winter-specific shoe, but you can kind of take your traditional shoe, put a shoe cover over it, and block all of that wind from coming in so your toes don't freeze, which is really nice. So let us know, what do you guys use in the winter? Do you even ride in the winter, or do you hang up your bike and just forget about it until the summertime? This is some of the gear that I love and ride in, but again, I don't ride in the snow. I know there's some hardcore people out there that do. Let us know if you are. Hit us in the comments, share and subscribe. Hopefully you guys want to see more content like this in the future, and if you do, hit that notification bell. We'll see you guys in the next one.